Hi and welcome back. You remember me telling you about the ferment that took 4 months and it had mangoes in it, and I couldn't remember the name? I found it. Okay, it's called Amba, and it is actually from the Iraqi region. Iraq, Israel, Middle East type region. And you don't have to ferment this. You can actually just cook it and make it as a sauce. But I feel that it's going to be better as a ferment because it's going to add a little bit of sourness to it. I love this recipe. It's kind of like a fruity barbecue sauce that kind of has a hint of maple to it because of one of the spices that you actually put into it. Now, I was not able to find ripe or unripe mangoes because that's what the recipe calls for. I have a feeling this is for the end of harvest type of sauce for the mangoes, for the mango season. And that's whenever this is mainly made. Kind of like your green tomatoes, the fried green tomatoes. But I was able to find frozen ripe mangoes to be able to put this into. It's going to have a little bit of a different flavor. It's going to take a little bit more time to ferment because it has more sugars. It's going to have more sugars for more time to be able to ferment the sauce. This recipe that I have calls for 2 months worth of fermentation. It's going to stop fermenting whenever it wants to stop fermenting. The longer it sits, the more sour it's going to get. Just taste test every once in a while. So let's get started. All right, so we have our spice grinder. We're going to be grinding up all the spices all at once. There's going to be 2 cups of water. We are going to be adding a tablespoon of salt to this. And we're going to go ahead and dissolve the salt in the water along with all the spices. Now you can add any pepper that you want. Some people put habaneros or scotch bonnets in here. You can do jalapeno. I am not that brave. We're going to use paprika. And that's going to be about 1/4 teaspoon into the spice blender. Now here's where the maple comes in. You're going to be adding a tablespoon of fenugreek. Now this is whole fenugreek. You can get this already ground up, but I got it whole. So 1 whole tablespoon. 1 whole teaspoon of cumin. It's a new one. Two teaspoons of ground mustard, which is also going to add some heat. So you want to keep that in mind whenever choosing your peppers. Alright, some coriander seeds, about 1 teaspoon. One teaspoon of black pepper. You can add the whole peppercorns in here and grind them as well. One-half teaspoon of turmeric. 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon. And 1/4 teaspoon of cardamom. Now I'm just going to add 1 pod. And we're going to grind all this up together. This all goes into the water with the salt. And we're going to let this come up to a boil and dissolve everything. And then we're going to let this cool all the way down to room temperature. Fun fact about fenugreek, or fenugreek, however you want to say it, okay? It is actually a stimulant for breast milk. If you need or know of anybody who does need help in that department, have them start drinking fenugreek tea, and that should help with the production of breast milk. Now I do have the mango chunks here. You can leave these whole or you can blend them up and then add the spice water to it. I am going to go ahead and blend this up because I feel that it's more of a sauce than it is a condiment. And it works well as a sauce. Now we have 2 quarts that we are going to be filling up and fermenting with the lids. I think I have more mangoes here than that. So each quart is 4 cups. We have 2 cups of water. So that would be 6 cups of mango. Let's see how much this does. This is a 3-pound bag. Great value. And in here we're also going to add the garlic. This is also where you're going to add your peppers if you're going to add any like Scotch bonnets or jalapenos. And it wouldn't be my house if there was not a mess to be made. Now it does say 1 clove of garlic. I'm going to do a heaping spoonful. We're also going to add a little bit of the cooled liquid to help get the blender moving. And just blend until everything's done. And it's that easy. I have everything blended here. We have all the spices. We want to make sure that everything is mixed up very evenly. And then we're going to go ahead and bottle and put the fermenting lids on and keep an eye on this. You do want to taste test about once a month. And depending on your location and how hot it is, it may actually take a little bit longer or shorter. So if you're up in the north and you want to do this, I'd actually wait until it warms up a little bit outside to be able to get your fermenting done. Here in the south, it is the perfect time for fermenting because there are days where we have 20 degrees, there are days where we have 80 degrees. And today is one of those 80-degree days. I just can't wait for everything to calm down. Cross our fingers it does. Okay, we have all this mixed up. I do still have some chunks in here. That is fine. That will also ferment. Okay, get our clean sterile jars. Dump it in. You want to give it a little bit of headspace because it will bubble and go over. Remember, we are not canning this, we're fermenting it. Now you can can it afterwards, but I'll tell you one thing right now, it smells wonderful. You can actually use this sauce now. It's just going to be raw amba. Okay, looks like I have one more pint left. I'm going to go ahead and grab a jar and put that in there. Actually, I changed my mind. We're going to use this right now. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and use the rest of the sauce on some chicken. These are some chicken quarters that I have here. Usually whenever you serve the amba, if you serve it like a dipping sauce, you want to add some olive oil to it. But with the chicken fat, I do believe it's going to be okay. You're also going to want to add something a little bit citrusy. Now, it is recommended that you put in some lemon juice with this. I am out of lemon juice because I keep making lemonade. So I'm going to add some sumac to this. Some staghorn sumac. It grows wild everywhere here. And we're going to go ahead and let this cook. Sumac, or staghorn sumac, actually has a citrusy taste to it. If you are able to find it in bloom, you can actually boil the flowers, and it actually tastes like lemonade. All right, so that is it for the amba. All of these ferments are very simple in their all these recipes are very simple in their ingredients. It's the time that it takes for it to actually come to fruition. My ketchup that I made last week is actually done, and we've been eating it. It is perfect for, like, bratwurst, any type of sausages. I made more mustard to be able to add to that. It was wonderful on hamburgers. The flavors do meld together, and the hotness of the mustard in the ketchup actually over time starts to mild out, and it becomes a background taste. It is an incredible sensation. Now, I don't have any idea of what I want to do for next month. If you have any suggestions, go ahead and put them in below. Of what you want me to see what I can do about fermenting a condiment. It has to be a condiment because we're eating down our freezer with the meats and the veggies and everything else like that, because it's becoming up on hog season here pretty soon, and we're hoping for more sausage for this year. Thank you for joining. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time.